I could go on about that for a long time, and there's many different aspects because there's a lot of different advantages to the blockchain. But what the blockchain does is it opens up the possibility of having a truly credible peer-to-peer network of encyclopedias. Again, it's open source, and the content is open content. But what if we collect all of those articles, or at least links to all of those articles in one place, and then we make them all rateable? So somebody could go to a page about Australia, right? And there's a dozen articles about Australia there, and you read them through, and you give your rating of each article. A bunch of other people do that. The best rises to the top. The best article, according to everybody in the system, is bound to be pretty darn good. But what if the people who are doing the rating also share information about themselves? Your nationality, your politics, your religion, your academic specializations, your philosophy, whatever. And then you could look at the articles about Australia and slice them and dice them in different ways. What do the Australians think is the best article about Australia? What about the Americans? Or let's talk about something more interesting. What about the topic of jihad? Imagine, 100 different articles about jihad. Why would there be 100? Because as soon as this sort of thing is created, there is a competition. So people start competing to write the best article. So you can imagine the best articles according to Saudi Arabians, or according to Libyans. Oh, what about according to all Muslims? Or how about Muslims who identify as moderate Muslims? Or how about Muslims who identify as traditional Muslims? Or what about American conservatives or American Democrats, right? You would be able to compare different points of view on a topic like jihad, and that could potentially create a huge amount of understanding that just doesn't exist today. It heightens the level of the conversation. That's the point. And Wikipedia doesn't do it. Wikipedia doesn't allow it. They have only one article about the topic because there's only one community. Yes, of course it's possible, and people enjoy getting themselves into bubbles and internet silos, but I think you're not going to be able to avoid other points of view in today's world. So if you have a competition to represent the best that is known on a given subject, now you have tools to engage in that debate much, much better than you can under a regime of fake news and sensationalistic media of all sorts.
So, restoring global empathy by making people see things from the other point of view is absolutely awesome and very commendable. I'm wishing Larry and the team all the best for this project. Alright, so let's take a look at the wider aspects here. First, government. Dubai. Dubai has set its sights on becoming the world's first blockchain-powered state. In 2016, representatives of 30 government departments formed a committee dedicated to investigating the opportunities across health records, shipping, business registration, and more. It's estimated that the blockchain will amount to $1.5 billion in savings per year. Much of this enhanced productivity will stem from moving to a paperless government, with blockchain document processing removing around 100 million paper transactions a year. Dubai World Trade Center is actually flying me out to the Future Blockchain Summit, one of the world's biggest blockchain conferences, to see what things are really like on the ground. I'll be reporting back, hopefully live over this channel. The conference is a collaboration between Smart Dubai, a government entity exploring new technologies, and the Dubai World Trade Center. Estonia. The Estonian government has partnered with Ericsson on a blockchain initiative to create a new data center where all public records are stored on the blockchain. South Korea. Samsung, of course, is creating blockchain solutions for the South Korean government, which will be put to use in public safety and transport applications. The UK government is also working on blockchain technology for pension payments. Cybersecurity. GuardTime is a company creating keyless signature systems using the blockchain. It is currently being already used to secure the health records of 1 million Estonian citizens. GuardTime is also working with Dapp, Lockheed Martin, and Ericsson. Healthcare. The company GEM is a startup working with the Center for Disease Control. They're going to put disease outbreak data onto the blockchain, which is hoped to increase the effectiveness of disaster relief and response. A company called Simply Vital Health has a couple of blockchain-related projects going on. One of them tracks the progress of patients after they leave the hospital, and another one provides decentralized blockchain patient records. MIT is spearheading a project called MedRec. It's a blockchain project designed to manage authentication, confidentiality, and data sharing of medical records, and is already up and running in Israel. Financial services. Barclays Bank has launched a number of blockchain initiatives involving tracking financial transactions and combating fraud. Barclays state, quote, "Our belief is that the blockchain is a fundamental part of the new operating system for the planet," end quote. Manufacturing and industrial. Geocoin. India's biggest conglomerate, Reliance Industries, has said that it's developing a blockchain-based supply chain logistics platform along with its own cryptocurrency, Geocoin. Transactive Grid is an interesting project based in Brooklyn that allows members to locally produce and sell energy. The goal is to reduce the cost involved with energy distribution. Storage.io is distributed and encrypted cloud storage which allows members to share unused hard drive space. Retail. OpenBazaar is a company that's attempting to build a decentralized market where goods and services can be traded with no middleman. Real estate. Ubiquity is a startup that's creating a blockchain-driven system for tracking the completed legal process, which usually creates friction and expense in the real estate transfer. Transport. Arcade City is an application which aims to beat Uber at their own game, basically bringing ride-sharing to the blockchain. So that is just a fraction of what is going on in the blockchain space. It's becoming clear that a shift is taking place here. Some big players can see that this is a viable option in the future and are getting on board so that they don't miss out. For example, IBM alone is working on 400 different blockchain projects with 63 clients. So almost at the end of the video, but one last thing I want to touch on is who is the biggest winner for blockchain. It's early days, but it seems that blockchain's biggest winners will be those who want to cut out middlemen. For example, for information and content creation services, this seems to entail the Wild West days of the internet, where there was more freedom to see what you want to see without it being controlled and moderated by a governing party. But cutting out the middlemen goes a lot further in developing nations. For example, blockchain is starting to take on the task of bridging a poverty gap around the world. With blockchain, as long as you have access to a smartphone, you will have a way to conveniently access money. Additionally, blockchain is a decentralized system, which means that you don't get charged to transfer money the way you would with a typical financial institution. The former usually deters businesses from reaching certain regions of the world and serving opportunities for developing countries. For example, and this next statistic shocked me, last year, the total amount of cost to send money to sub-Saharan Africa was over $30 billion. This is according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. So $30 billion in frictional losses just by having middlemen. A platform called BitPesa directly aims to solve this problem through blockchain technology, and I'm sure there'll be many other projects on the way. So this alone, leaving all other things equal, that is, the same amount of money flowing from well-off nations to poor nations as is today, many tens of billions of dollars can be generated by just using blockchain.